afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. And man, do I have a fun show for us today. A little spooky, a little scary, a little exciting. And I have my good friend, Mr. Long Island Bigfoot, in the studio with me today. We're going to be talking about the Appalachian devil dog, black dogs, and of course, Dogman encounters. And I came across a picture of a dog that literally looks almost exactly like what I saw leaving the Alabama forest about a month ago. And I almost fell out of my chair, y'all, because I've been trying to figure out what I saw. It looked like the head of one of those animals, those beasts, possibly dogmen, that I saw that were the size of bears, leaving the Hollands area. And we talked about that on Saturday night. If you guys missed that, an incredible Saturday night show with Mark and Rebecca Green, please go back and check that out, y'all. That was such a wonderful show. Mark and I could have talked for like 5 hours Saturday night. We could have. And so I'm going to bring Mark and Rebecca back on again. They are out of Alabama, and I have gone on. I've met them at a couple of different campouts. Bigfooting campouts, and that last one was at the Talladega Forest, and that's where I had that encounter as I was leaving in my vehicle that night down a isolated, desolate road in the middle of nowhere, and I made sure my doors were locked. Okay, and I had a pew pew right there because it was so creepy, y'all. So I'm gonna show you guys that picture today of this it's actually a dog. Okay, and I'm going to we're going to do some comparisons as to what exactly it looked like. We're going to maybe compare it to these Appalachian devil dogs as well, because, I do live in the Appalachians, y'all, technically, and that was in the Appalachian Mountains. So let's get to it. If you guys would like to follow along with all my shows and everything, please go over to the cryptidhuntress.com. All my archives are over there, and the links to things like my Patreon and my shop is called More Woman Goods are over there on my website. So again, that's the cryptidhuntress.com. You can find all the information you need about the Cryptid Huntress over there. And I do have an event coming up in just a couple of weeks. If you guys want to come see me in North Georgia, we're going to be at the World UFO Conference, August the 2nd in Demarest, Georgia, with John Price of Alabama MUFON, myself, James Rink with the Secret Space Program, and Super Soldier Talk on YouTube will be there. A good friend of mine and of Long Island Bigfoots. We're both friends with James. Dr. John Stamey and Matthew Delph will also be there, and some other people as well. It's always a good time hanging out with all those folks. We're going to talk a little bit today about my Florida conference. I promised you guys Saturday. I have been on the road driving all day on Saturday, and I had not had time to process the whole conference that I was at last week. And so we're going to talk about that a little today. I saw Maureen in the chat. Maureen and Gus were there. My favorite furry moderator they were at the conference, and I have a few pictures to show. And it's gonna be fun. We'll talk about that when I bring Mike up. Okay, so let's talk about these devil dogs. Okay, because I don't know, it might have been what I saw. I don't think they were ghosts or anything like that. I think that they were probably dogmen. But let's talk about it. There's a demon dog that haunts a small town of Valle Cruces, North Carolina, near Boone. There's a church there that has a cemetery that's haunted by this hulking black dog. It's the size of a man with glowing red eyes. There are some students from a nearby college. I think it's probably Appalachian State University, I'm pretty sure, because that's in Boone. I think we played them in some sports or something back when I was in college. But they had an encounter. We're going to talk about that today. A couple of students had an intense encounter with this devil dog. And according to these descriptions, I think they might have encountered a dogman, actually. But the black dog is a staple, well-known staple of Appalachian folklore. It's a spirit of death, they say. And when somebody sees it, they are marked for death. Oof, that sucks. Entire bloodlines become cursed when one encounters it, and you should never look it directly in the eyes, according to legend. And it's connected to lightning storms and the crossroads. Y'all know about the crossroads. That's where you go sell your soul to the devil. And Lord forbid My goodness. And we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about the snarly yowl. Oh my God, what a name. It's a dog-like beast that walks on 2 feet like a human. And stories about the snarly yowl began in the 1700s with German immigrants who came to here, okay, to the Americas to work in the mines, by the way. And we're always making connection to mines and Bigfoot and cryptids, especially gold mines. There's a lot of gold in them there hills in the Appalachian Mountains. And so we're going to get into that today as well. And of course, I did have my encounter a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, with 2 hulking black beasts, furry, hairy black beasts on the side of the road in the deep woods of Alabama in the Appalachians. And so I brought my good friend, who is also an experiencer of Dogman in the Appalachians, my buddy, Long Island Bigfoot. So you guys, please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Long Island Bigfoot himself, Mike.
Hello, hello. What's going on?
Happy Monday.
All right. Happy Monday. Yeah, Monday. Trying to figure out this new StreamYard update here.
Oh yeah, there's always updates. It always throws a wrench in the engine, doesn't it?
I'm anybody who knows me knows. I mean, as long as I've been doing like YouTube and stuff, I am not tech savvy. Like, yeah, so anytime they throw in a wrench, it's like, yeah, it's not beneficial in my world.
Oh yeah, it's just another thing to have to figure out. That's all. It's part of life. It is. Well, thank you for being here today. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Well, you have had some Dogman experiences of your own. You have been on a Dogman encounter several times over there with our friend Vic Cundiff. And shout out to Vic, by the way. Vic shared out my Saturday night show on his Facebook pages and stuff. And so I really do appreciate that. It does help get the shows out there and the information. I think what Mark Greed and I and his wife Rebecca, I think what we talked about Saturday was pretty important, actually, as far as the safety goes to people in these national forests and these WMAs. And Mike, we made some connections with like homicides and things and deaths that were happening in some of these national parks. And maybe them being, reported wrong as a cover-up to cryptid attacks and stuff like that. What do you think about that? Do you think there could be like a cover-up where people are saying there's like drug overdoses when it could have been a Dogman attack?
Yeah, I mean, it's very plausible. It's very plausible. I do believe, like, in the book I'm never gonna write, there would have been a chapter about national parks and state parks and county parks and all these things. And what I believe is there are areas that are known, right, by our government or whatever, and they're fenced off and kept closed for a reason, right? So they have them open from dusk till dawn, right? And dawn till dusk, and then people could camp in a lot of them or whatever, but they have them in like a confined area for the most part. Now, when you have these people who venture out like into these, areas, it doesn't have to be the great outdoors. It just has to be somewhere that you're not supposed to go, right? Marked trails and things to that effect. So now, if you had somebody if you have a money-making machine like Yellowstone or something, right? Like, you don't want, like, I remember there was even something natural that they allow people to go see. It was one of those geysers, and something happened with one of those geysers that people got too close and got harmed and stuff, and they suppressed that. Now that like the outbreak of social media on it, like, was getting suppressed like crazy. So and I've been part of the army and stuff, and like it's always been a need to know. And basically, they always tell you you don't need to know shit. You don't need to know anything. So, like, when you talk about these upper echelons of, like, special forces and, like smaller units, too, that deal with these things, that stuff doesn't get out. You know what I mean? So, it's very suppressed, obviously. So, and if you have, like, a small town police officer or something, like, that's like, on the receiving end of this, and that's how he feeds his family and stuff, and the feds tell you, "Hey, say this," or you know what I mean? What's one to do? Like, what's one to do?
Yeah.
So, I mean, long way around it. There's so many ways we could go down, but I absolutely believe so. Yeah. And you know very well here that there was a cover up with things like in Montauk. And that was just one of the times where they got kind of caught and things are public. You know what I mean? And we still
Hmm.
have Plum Island here, just on Long Island. We have two other known ones. We have in my county of Suffolk County, we have two other ones that are known: Brookhaven Labs and Plum Island. Now, Montauk was people cover up. They were doing experiments on people and stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Plum Island's animals, and that's what they say at least. And then Brookhaven Labs is supposed to be, well, I don't know, the guys upstairs, aliens and things to that effect.
Oh yeah. Plum Island has made a resurgence as far as like social media. My trusted source of news, TikTok, had a young lady there
Yeah,
who was putting out videos saying, well, I used to work at Plum Island. I believe it was
yeah,
Plum Island Research Center,
yeah.
and she was blowing the whistle, and I was like, honey, I think the whistle's been blown, but thank you for your service for doing that. It's wonderful, and we always need more whistleblowers out there. But we've been talking about that for as long as I've known you, at least,
Right,
Mike.
right. Yeah, well,
So
like there's a ferry that goes from there to from Orient Point to Connecticut, and I forget where you land. I think in New London. But anyway, there's another little ferry area where those employees get on a ferry. They're not allowed to bring anything with them. They're searched before they go. They're searched when they get there. They have to go, like, if they go down levels, every time they go down. Brian said somebody went there. He knew
for a
Montauk
minute.
is strange. Yes,
Mhm.
he knew somebody who went there to fix something. Like, let's just say it was something easy, right? And they issued him the screwdriver. He had to turn it in when he went back. And as he went down all three levels that you can't see from the top, that you would never know are there, how many go down? I don't know. But this guy went down three levels, and at every elevator stop down, at every level down, he had to do a wash, like a full, one of those full
He had to
um,
he had to get naked
like a
and get a
full
shower.
biohazard wash, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
his
Yeah, I don't
suit.
know the extent. Yeah, I think they have them in a special. They put you in some kind of suit. Yep. Yeah.
Dang, you know what? I need one of those for my house when I have guests. Just kidding. Hey,
The,
step in the bacterial wash before you walk in my house. Take your shoes off.
yep. It'll look like Among Us in your house. Would be more.
Among us here, put on this inflatable suit, okay? Oh man, Ben would love that actually. My son would really like that. I think that'd be
Yeah.
funny. He'd have a
Yeah.
hard time sitting down, but living in bubbles. Okay, but see,
Speaking of,
can't do that.
how'd you guys like the conference?
Oh, it was amazing. It was really good. Actually, I guess we could talk about that real quick before we get into the devil dogs, because
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
no, it's amazing. Uh, it was really great. I do have some pictures. I actually spoke on Friday at the Full Disclosure Now conference down in St. Pete, Florida. I do have some people in the chat today. What's up, y'all? Everybody that was there at the conference. It was a great time, and I was gonna say, I said on Saturday, I was like, I think my audience will be proud of me. Okay, first of all, Brian and them had me speaking the early morning after the big party Thursday night. So I didn't think anybody was going to show up, but we ended up having a lot of people there. So I was really happy about that. And
That's cool.
here's a picture just of me up there. I think that was right before I started speaking up there.
Nice.
And I had just wonderful friends there. We've got Maureen in the chat right now. There's Maureen and Gus. Y'all
Oh,
know
Gus is a French bulldog. That's awesome.
he is. That's Gus. He's one of our furry moderators. And let's see. Here's me and Gus right here, and that's my son in the background. But we had a great time, and we even had people that have been on the show that were there as well. This is Erin Elizabeth. You guys remember her? Her great great uncle was Admiral Byrd. Okay, somebody down the line on her family, and we did a show on Antarctica, and she is amazing. I had a great time hanging out with her, and we had Bigfoot busts. Okay, I've got one of those behind me on my books over here. and lots of cool things. People were selling there. That's Ada. Ida. Excuse me. I said Ada. Ada. I love you, Ada. Can't say your name right today. And this is Trevor, you guys. I got to meet Trevor. I think his last name's DeGrassi. I'm pretty sure. But Trevor, this is wild, Mike. I did a show not too long ago on the pyramids and what's under the pyramids.
Sure.
Because it was a big buzz was going around about what's under the pyramids of Giza, like the Great Pyramid. Well, it's him and his team that actually released that information. They're the ones that took those measurements down there and had those sonar things.
Yeah.
That was him, and he was at the conference. It was wild.
Yeah.
So I'll be getting
awesome.
yeah, we're gonna get Trevor on the show, y'all. Of course, I have Piper. Piper is a good friend of mine, and Veronica and Susan were there. And let's see, and they did a great panel. Y'all remember Sean Bond? He's in the blue shirt right there. He led a panel on ancient alien artifacts that was went really great. And of course, my good friend Miss Laura Eisenhower was there. We're going to bring Laura on the show here pretty soon. I didn't get her on this past year, but we're going to bring her on this year. I promise y'all. And of course, we have Brian saying,
there he is.
There's Brian. Okay. And also, y'all remember Tom Althouse, who had the screenplays, wrote the original screenplays for The Matrix. And he had been in court for years over all this stuff. And I know there's another lady named Sophia, somebody who claims that she wrote it, but he says no. He wrote The Immortals, was the original name of it. And I just love him to death, y'all. These are the original transcripts right here, screenplays, what became known as The Matrix. And he claims it was all stolen from him. Okay. And I got to hold some crystal skulls.
That's
and also
cool.
Mikey from Strange Road. I got 2 more pictures, y'all, and that's it. We're going to get to the Devil Dogs now. But that's Mikey from the Strange Road podcast. He's so amazing, y'all. Had a great time with him. And last but not least, my new buddy, Gino. And he is the executive producer of the Y Files. And there's some big things popping with that, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So it was a great conference, Mike. Thank you for asking. And I can't wait. Hopefully I'll be back next year. But it was really great. And we had a wonderful crowd there. And
Y Files is good. They're one of those larger channels that actually sources people properly, which is, it's pretty cool. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, and happy birthday, Joe. Today is his birthday. Okay,
happy birthday.
Yes, so happy birthday. And yeah, we had a great time, and it was full of disclosure. Okay, there were a lot more other people there, y'all. But those, I just got a few pictures because I was so busy the whole time I was there. Okay, very busy. I didn't get a whole lot of pictures, but those are the ones I did get. So thank you guys so much for all your support, for everybody that was there with us this past week. It means the world to me. Okay, and you guys can probably still access that by going online and getting the online video, I guess, of it. I guess you can purchase that or something. I don't know. Okay, but I go to fulldisclosuremovement.org and .com. Okay, well, let's get to these black dogs, Mike, because I guess you've heard that I had this weird Dogman encounter as I was leaving the Alabama forest about a month ago. And I have been perplexed. It's been very perplexing, like, over what exactly I saw. Well, I came across a picture yesterday of an actual dog. It's like a pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
The head looks exactly like what I saw on the side of the road, crouched down in the grass, but it was the size of a bear, like a big bear.
Yeah.
So I want to show this picture to the audience today. Okay, because I've been trying to find a picture of something that looks like what I saw. Now, I'm going to show this picture to the audience, and then I'm going to explain to you how it's the same and how it's different as to what I saw today. I'm not today, whenever that was. Okay. Oh my God. And guess what? I didn't upload it. So hold on. I'm going to have to go to my phone and upload this, y'all. So let's go on to something else right now until I get it. It obviously didn't upload. I thought it did.
I want to bring up something too. Like,
Damn
it was a ways back, right? But I had this thought, and I don't know why, but like, what you're showing right there.
Yes.
I think you were out with, forget their names, but I remember Matt. I forget his mom's name, but Matt, I think he goes by like Outcast or some. I don't know what he goes
Matthew
by
Dell?
now. No, like Matt Supernatural Matt or Matt Spectrum Matt. He goes by now.
I don't know.
I think. Oh, Nona Boss's mom.
Oh, Matt Williamson.
Yes, that's it. Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
Matt Williamson.
good friend. I'm just flaking. But you guys were out like, and like you guys saw something like shadowy too, like go by, and
Yes.
the way it was described, it sounded to me it's something like a dark, like almost something that was like this, but like I don't remember the exact description to the size, so I don't want to butcher it. But this is what it's reminded me of.
Okay, cool. Very cool. Well, I'm uploading this picture right now, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna keep this up here on the screen so it doesn't. Oh wait, here we go. I can take it down. Matter of fact, here I can take this down. Oh wait, there's a bunch of me on here. Hold on. Let's take that down. Okay. I know technical. Look, I've gotten to the point to where it's okay. I'm not even.
Yeah,
I don't sweat the technical difficulties anymore.
I've never shown a picture on a live stream because I don't know how. Still, like, so don't feel bad. I feel bad.
How. Let's see. Let me go to my screenshots here because I had to take a screenshot. This looks like a panther. Okay, so the way that I described this, I said it looks like a panther. Okay, it looks like an African dog, and it looked like a panther, and it looked like a bear. Okay, it was like a three combo, a three part combo. Okay, and all right, now let me get out of there. All right, this is the picture that I found online. I just came across this. This is what the head looked like. Okay, of what I saw on the side of the road. This is, I think this thing's, I can't see behind my screen. It says a designer pit bull worth over $20,000. Who's paying 20 grand for a dog? I don't know.
Oh man,
I paid for my dog, but it wasn't that much. Okay.
Some pit bulls, I mean, they're really, really like sought after, very sought after.
Designer?
Especially, well, they're from a certain bloodline of like these gigantic pits. I think, like, there's one named Zeus, and like just his like it's almost like it's a smaller version of how like farmers seek out like a prize bull, right? Because you're gonna have a great, whatever. So it's a money making machine, yeah, in a way.
Yeah. Well, okay. If I'm paying 20 grand for a dog, it better be a werewolf.
But
I'm just saying. It better be.
I almost thought
this was a going price for a werewolf. I'm just saying.
I almost thought this was a Black Panther because of how its ears were cropped so much. I didn't see it at first, and then I just, how like you play that game where like, oh, what do you see first, like a duck or a rabbit, and like the first thing I saw was a Black Panther before I saw a pit bull.
Okay, so let me. This is almost the exact face that I saw that night. Okay, it was big, but the only difference, okay, there's a couple of differences. It had rounded ears, big, like rounded ears on the top of its head, where those two little cropped ears are. It had rounded ears, and it had tufts of fur coming out of its ears, like around its ears, and it was pitch black, all black, and but it was literally the size of a bear, and it had pearly white teeth. The teeth were the whitest teeth I've ever seen on an animal in my entire life. And it kind of gnashed its teeth at me a little bit, and it was moving it kind of moved like a panther a little bit. So it did look like a panther.
You wouldn't. I've had a lot of black bear encounters, like a lot, and you don't see their teeth. You hear them coming. They sound like you don't know what it is because they're breathing through their nose so heavy. Like it's I guess it's similar to like a large boar, right? But like, like they're almost snorting because they breathe so fast, but like, or so heavy when they're running, and yeah, you can't really mistaken them for any other animal, like unless they're like going really fast and they're like bunched up like when they're first taking off. But they're very easy to. I don't know if you saw a bunch of different things in one. It might have a
And,
little shape shifting action.
well, it was just I just saw elements of 3 different animals in one is what it was. And the
Oh,
first
okay,
thought
I
that I
got
had
you.
was an African dog. Okay, now and this is literally the same face that I saw. It looked very similar to that, except the ears were rounded like a bear, and had fur coming out of the top of its ears, just like a hyena. Okay, so look kind of like a hyena as well, a little bit. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys, with the audience today, and also it kind of had a face more like this canine variant number 2 right there, with the ears are kind of more rounded, just like that, with tufts of hair coming out of the top. Uh, and so that's why it was so confusing, Mike, as to what I had seen. And this was in the mountains of the Appalachians. And to the audience, if you're curious to know where the Appalachian Mountains are, this is a map of
Mhm.
the United States. It goes all the way up into New York, where Mike lives, all the way down through Georgia and Alabama, down here where I was in Alabama, actually, down in the southern part right there. And here's a more up close type of a map right here. You know what's wild, Mike? I knew that I lived
Mhm.
close to the Appalachians, if not in the Appalachians. And then I was looking through some of these maps that are very detailed as to which counties are considered the Appalachians. And I live in the Appalachians.
I know it is
Where I
wild,
live.
man.
Yeah. Actually, where I live is literally in the southern part of the Appalachians. So I can say Appalachia however I want, y'all. Okay. There's always somebody complaining about how I pronounce stuff. Okay. And listen, I love it when y'all spell it out in the comments for me. Thank you so much. I love it. But also I can say it how I want. Okay. So and I officially live in the Appalachians, y'all. Okay. But this is that's the Appalachians right there. And
I
that's
I
where I
was
was.
doing I was doing a bunch of stuff for the longest in the Appalachian areas, and I had no idea. You were the one that told me about it. You were like, "Oh, that's an Appalachian." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "It's it's in this, it's in the Catskills over here." And this, and you were like, "Yeah, look." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" But
Yeah.
I always pictured like the Appalachian Trail. You know what I mean? And I was like, and if I wasn't on the Appalachian Trail, I just figured I wasn't in the Appalachians. You know what I mean? I know it sounds probably ignorant for people who have knowledge on it, but I didn't have knowledge on it.
I think this is the one word that you and I pronounce the same. I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
probably. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Abbott says Appalachia. Appalachia. Yes.
Appalachia. Yeah,
Appalachia. I just always say Appalachia. Okay. So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that's,
We say hard A's up here, like A. Yeah.
yeah,
But even when I talk
the
to DHP,
Appalachians.
his A's are like ka, like you know what I mean, like ka.
Yes.
It's like oh yeah, his Boston his Mass accent's getting bad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh, but there are different ways to pronounce it. And yes, someone in the chat just said pecans or pecans. And I say pecans. My sister says pecans. How
Yeah,
weird is that? Two siblings in the same grew up in the same household. We have two different pronunciations for
yeah,
pecans. It's
yeah. It's
pecans. I'm just saying. Okay. But my sister says pecans.
I'm a
Okay.
pecan guy.
Oh, you say pecans and you live in New York?
Yeah,
What the
pecan.
hell is going on here? Okay. So, anyways, it's backwards. Okay. Um, very backwards. All right. So what do you think, Mike? Okay, I showed that picture of the dog, the designer $20,000 pit bull. As compared to
Well,
what I saw, it was crouched down in the tall grass too, and it was literally like it was trying to hide from me a little bit, but it was also looking at me and gnashing its teeth. Is that typical of a dog man?
oh, I'd be guessing. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
I don't have enough data to say what's typical of anything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like even though I've had encounters and experiences, like who's to say what's typical across the map? Now, I would imagine if you got if you got to the point where like myself where you pissed it off or whatever, it's gonna it's going to show teeth. It's going to do what it needs to do to frighten you. Otherwise, I'm sure I was around these things hundreds of times before that, where they just chose to, you know, like make their presence not known. I probably damn near stepped over them. You know what I mean? And so if I had to guesstimate, what's typical is that they try to remain not seen so much. But yeah, again, that's just kind of it's just kind of what I'm dealing with here, I guess. I don't know. Maybe in a different area, less populated, whatever. Like I'm in a populated area, so like if a Dogman presented itself and then I decided to blow the whistle on it, like it would rain hell of amounts of people on that. They don't have a lot of room to work with necessarily. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yes.
the Pine Barrens are huge, but like even still, and I do believe that these cryptids do cross because there's so many large islands in between here and like Connecticut and stuff on the east end, and like it's just so perfect. It's so perfect. So I do actually think they go even into Connecticut at times.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Well, where I saw those two animals, I'm gonna call them animals. It was just farmland out there. There were like I didn't see any. It was late at night. It was like 12:30 at night, Alabama
Yeah.
time, which is a little different from Georgia time. And I couldn't really see what it was other than what was out there, other than just pastures and fences and stuff like that. Maybe a gate occasionally where there might have been houses. And Mark, who I had on the show Saturday night, said that that's actually I gave him the exact location. He said that's where his friend, a guy he knows, owns that property right there, and they had multiple Bigfoot sightings or booger sightings, okay, and dogmen as well, or werewolves had been seen out there. So another thing that I wanted to ask you about, Mike, is as far as animal behavior goes, I had another one that was actually sitting across the road from the one that I saw its face and its teeth. There was another one crouched down in the tall grass, but its back was turned to the road. And it never turned over to like look around. Is that typical animal behavior for like, I don't know, bears or I don't even know, like even a hog, like a giant hogzilla or something?
There's a reason for everything. You know what I mean? I don't know enough about hogs. Like I don't.
Either.
I don't. There's If I was in hog territory, I would literally like submit to the next person that knows about them and literally be like, lead the way, because I just don't know enough about them, if anything, really. But for them to put the back, I mean, it might have just been, like trying to not be seen. You know what I mean? Like the other one might have felt threatened because perhaps you were between it. Like if you ever see animals when there's a road involved and some of them are on one side and some of them are on the other, the ones that are like past where they want to be, because they're on some migratory path, then they all know where they're going. They're all in the same route, but now they got broken up for whatever reason, whether it's a car or whatever. And the ones that are still over on the other side start to get, if it's a deer, they get frantic, right? Like, and so it could have just been maybe trying to make itself like it duck down and just stay hidden.
Yeah. Say,
And
don't look at me.
yeah.
Yeah. Be a
I don't
tree.
know.
Yeah. It was
Well,
just all weird. It was all really weird.
that's the best photo of a Dogman I have. Is it looks like a tree. It like I wish I had sent it to you before we jumped on here. But I mean, you could see its ears, you could see its eyes, everything. You know what I mean? But you could see its snout. But it looks like a tree. Like the way the lines and stuff are in it. Its head is like the size of a horse head. Like it's huge. It's huge.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's but it's just amongst the trees. Now, I can't tell you if that's its coat, if it's you know uh camouflaging to being able to, like the predator, whatever, being able to like cloak into the or take on the I don't know, like I don't know what it was doing or in that moment because honestly, I didn't even really fully see it. I just saw something kind of like go by over there, and it caught my attention. And I was filming, and somebody had shown me it in the video, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I did not realize like what it was and what was there. Hunkering down, but it was huge.
Hunkering down. I like how you said hunkering down, because that's what I saw. Something was like hunker down. And I was actually sitting there thinking, well, maybe it was like a bear that got hit by a car or something. It was like it couldn't move or something like that. But then it started moving. It looked like a panther when it started kind of like slithering. It was like,
Well,
it was snaking its body. It was weird. I could only see its shoulders. It was just, like I said,
from what I can tell, these dogmen like they have like this like strong like upper body, you know what I mean? And like it becomes hard when they stand up too, because like I guess some of them have like that bow leg, right? Like dogs do, like that. So if they're standing up, they're probably like a little like weird, but the other ones seem to kind of hunch over a little bit too. So like, yeah, like, but I'd imagine most things would like to stay like hunkered down and like stay in like a kind of I don't know, like pouncy way. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. That's why I thought it was odd that one would not turn around, you know. But nonetheless, that's a good question, Andrew. What would a booger sighting be? People don't know what a booger is. Okay, well, down in the South where I
I
live,
didn't either.
we call Bigfoots boogers.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have been known for decades, for centuries, as boogers. And if you go to places like northwest Georgia, like in Rome, there's a place called Booger Holler. And we talked about that before when we discussed the werewolf attack in Rome, Georgia, and all those werewolf sightings we've had up in northwest Georgia, Bigfoot Bigfoot, werewolves, and dogmen, all up there in that area. But if you go, the old timers call them boogers. Old timer country folk call them boogers, and even the Cherokee. Actually, when you go up to, I was in Cherokee many years ago, and you go up to it's like an art center, I think. I forgot what it's called, but it's like a place where my buddy Will that I had met he made booger mask is what he called them, and they were basically Bigfoot masks. Okay, and he would carve those and had them on display in this museum. I forgot what it was called, but it was a place where they display their art and things like that. And so he made like totem poles that had like Bigfoots and stone witches on them.
Oh, well, that's a whole other topic. Totem poles is a very important thing. I don't want to even dive into that rabbit hole, but that was another chapter in the book I'll never write, but yeah, totem poles is a big thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I didn't know what a booger was at first either. And then they were like, wood boogers. I'm like, what?
Wood booger.
You saw a booger in the wood? I'm like, just flick it, like, I don't know. Like,
it's not these kind of boogers. Okay.
So, I mean, those. Yeah, but it's a product of your environment, right? Like, so, like, I've never heard of it. So, like, I'm thinking of a booger, right? So, like, but yeah, it does go back. And like you said, the old timers, there's a lot of people who have been experiencing them. I don't know if they're like your typical Sasquatch, like with the extent that I'm dealing with up here. I don't know, because they seem to be a lot more like hostile towards homes, if you will, like down in that region, like the Alabama, Mississippi region. They seem to like to, even Virginia, West Virginia, they like to, like, I don't know. I don't want to say terrorize, but like, put a little funk in your step, a little scare in you.
Yeah. Well, we've heard stories, and I think we're going to probably be talking about some of these black dogs that have been seen in places like, there's stories about Taylor, Mississippi, I think, where they had like that siege of Lockett Ranch. Now, I think now this is my opinion. I had been given that as a remote viewing target, and I think that I'll be honest with you, Mike. I think that story, according to my data, was like a story. Okay, but it was probably based off some real dogman encounters that happened down there. Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
Probably based off some true encounters, but I think overall, I mean, that was just from my remote viewing data. Don't come at me, y'all. Okay. I think that it was probably written, okay, as like a creative writing, if y'all know what I mean. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I think. I don't know for sure. That was just the data. Okay. But I do think there have been a lot of dogman reports out of Mississippi. And a lot of times these dogmen are black and they have these bright white shiny teeth. And that's exactly what I saw in Alabama.
Well, a lot of stories get like that have to be that, and once if they're illustrated as fact or whatever, like, you know what I mean, or like, and they have that kind of stuff, it causes problems, right? I think this was the biggest, one of the biggest things for like the white man when they came here and took over, right? Because they were able to not only like put the Native Americans in like the corner and like out of sight, out of mind, but they were also able to take everything that they ever wrote and just call it folklore, almost like it was fantasy, right?
Yeah.
And that automatically put in people's heads that, oh, these are like made up stories that they tell their children at night or whatever, blah blah blah, right? It's their fun fantasy stories. No, it's history. It's history, but it's being pushed aside by our culture and the way that we're taught as we come up, right? And you anyway, yeah.
That's true. It's just like fairy tales with dragons and, all ogres.
China doesn't idolize dragons for no damn reason, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
you just have to look at the surface, and you know what I mean. It's right there. It's right there.
Yes.
I think you guys were talking about the Devil's Tower, right?
Yes.
And like that was a giant tree at one point, right? And like,
I think so.
yeah, I do too, and I believe it needed to be destroyed, just like the pyramids need to disappear, right? Because these are all giant sources of energy and a grandiose history, and things that don't fit the narrative. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. That's right. That's why it's all in your head. It's all made up. There's no monster under your bed or in your closet. I don't know, but
Well, there's even a story I think of like people on top, and there's a giant bear scratching at it, trying to get to them. I think there's something there, right? Like, I think maybe when they were, I think this is my thoughts, right? You know, for entertainment purposes only. I have no facts on this. But I think the story gets kind of screwed up. Is when the men were chopping it down and trying to destroy it. I believe the forest entities, like large, maybe looking large, like giant bear, came out and tried to put put a stop to it. And this could have been along the lines of the times where we kind of separated, or they separated from us and just went back in the woods and left us be, and our stories rolled on without them.
could have been. Yeah, I mean, I think there was some kind of crusade to go get rid of all the mythological creatures like unicorns and dragons
Yeah.
and all that. Yes. It's just all these secret societies know, don't y'all? I know y'all are out there. Y'all watch my shows. You're gonna come clean one day. Okay, you can come on my show. Come on my show. I will host y'all anytime y'all want to come on and blow the lid off of it. Okay. But nonetheless, there's a lot of black dog sightings, and in the Appalachian Mountains, Mike, it is a common. It's almost like a staple of Appalachian folklore, as we call it,
Yeah.
to hear about these black dogs. And now there is a case out of North Carolina in a place called Valle Cruces,
Yeah.
North Carolina, and I have some pictures. And in case you guys don't know where Valle Cruces is, I have definitely been through there before. This is where it is on the map. Now, we've been talking about a lot of things going on in North Carolina, from the lake mermaids or river mermaids, the Lake Norman monsters out there. I've had, let's see, I had Rob Effler on the show from North Carolina. I've had several people from North Carolina, Western North Carolina, on the show, and talking about, and I asked him about the secrets of the Appalachians, and he just got real quiet and didn't say anything. He didn't answer my question. So they don't play, man, up in that part of the Appalachians. They don't play about their secrets and stuff, because there's a lot.
you know, when you, yeah, but when you actually, that looks just like the pictures I take when I'm standing on the top of Catterskill Falls. That's what the Catterskill Wilderness looks like. It's insane. I love it. But and it just makes you wonder what's out there, right? There's like just Catterskill Park is like 270,000 acres or something. But anyway, maybe
Wow.
it's 2,700,000 actually. But like I think we've talked about this. Adirondack Park is like 6 million, right? Which is like when you think about that, that's just a part of New York. It's a upstate that you can fit Yellowstone, Glacier, like 3 or 4 national parks inside of just that one. It's insane. But anyway, we're talking about this, right? And like you said, it is a stable, I think, and then it is a stable, and um, similar to like the Pine Barrens, and people always think of the Jersey Devil. Now, right, like, but if you were like that man, like who would encounter these things, you wouldn't want to speak on them. You wouldn't want to give them energy or power or manifest them, right? Like me and you, I think, are similar that we won't say the W thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't like talking about that thing.
Yeah, you won't say the word.
I don't do it.
I'll say it.
Go ahead.
Wendigo.
Yeah, I don't talk about that thing. But it has
Yeah.
very, very much power up by where I go in the Catskills. The natives told me to like where I said where should I not go and why, and they said they gave me the off limit spots or whatever. And I kind of told them, I said, I'm not looking for answers. Like I always try to lead off with that. I'm not trying to pry. I'm not trying to um, pull any knowledge from you because I don't want to do that. I just want to tell you that I'm on this like fantastical voyage in a sense, right? And like I'm uncovering all these things, and I just don't want to uncover the wrong things. So if you don't mind telling me where maybe I shouldn't go and dig things up,
Yeah.
and they will tell you like they have spots, or every tribe has spots where they even way back that they would not go and even hunt in or whatever because of the even bad energy, you know what I mean? They however it's categorized, it's off limit. I just call them off limits areas, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Just don't go down there and not holler. There's
It
boogers.
ain't worth it. Yeah, it ain't
Yeah. Yeah, it's not worth it. If there's
some of
locals
them.
telling you to stay away from somewhere, stay away from it.
Yeah,
Or if you're like, well, I don't know, you and I, Mike, we go out looking for monsters. So we're gonna go right for it. Or me
you
sometimes
said something. You said something a week ago or two, and you said I signed up for this. So whatever, and as did I. I did. I signed up for this. I willingly signed up for this. Like I knew there was a point where I knew, like, and again, I'm going to talk about some Native Americans and actually some natives from other countries too that were involved in my next step, New Zealand and Australia, and they were like, Mike, like when we take you to here, you're not going to be able to go back. I sat on that. I sat on that for like a while, like a few days. I sat with that. They said because that's a big thing to think about, right? And I said, let's go. Let's go.
let's do
So
it.
yeah,
Oh man.
no
I mean,
turning back.
yeah, no turning back now. Once I get an idea to do something, I just go in full force. I don't hold back. If I feel like I need to go somewhere and I get called to go there, I go there. And it doesn't matter. I'm like, who's coming with me? I'm gonna go by myself, and nobody comes with me. But I
I
don't
do
go by
it. Yeah.
myself. Somebody always ends up coming. Okay, with me on these trips and stuff. So, but yeah,
The
okay,
best way you can not turn up missing or whatever or
yeah,
anything is you know leave a note behind and just say here's where I went, you know what I mean?
yes. And this is when I'll be
Here's
back.
where I went hiking. I wasn't rock climbing, whatever, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw. Okay, I just saw a post. This is on subject. I saw this post on like Instagram, and it's really sad. This couple had gone missing, and they were going to go exploring, taking some pictures. It's like they had their day off, and it was a young couple, and they went
Yeah.
to some cave or something. I don't know. They're going to go explore somewhere, and they never. I mean, their car never came up. Them nobody could find where they were. They were just straight up missing for all these years. And a group of archaeologists or cave diver, somebody, some like research group went inside this old mine. It was either like a cave or a mine, and the cave had collapsed, and they found their skeletons sitting in chairs, like in on the other side of where the mine had collapsed. Right there, they had gone in there to take pictures and stuff. And so you just can never be too careful, y'all. Always let somebody know where you are. Even if you go into a cave, those spot devices probably aren't going to work out there.
You just don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
you just don't know. Like, and especially, I always preach safety. Like, with place like Long Island is a safe bet because it's what we call a flatland. There's really not a lot of like, there's not a lot of like places where you can really screw up bad, except going into water maybe. But like some places you don't want to go if like there's leaf cover or snow cover or whatever, because you don't know what you're stepping over, right? Because it just looks like, oh, like snow, and I'm walking through the snow, and boom, next thing even if your ankle goes in like some whatever, you could get really screwed up. I think there was a guy hiking in even dry climate like in Arizona, and like he got stuck for like, I forget, like the guy got his leg stuck and he was there for like, they made a movie about it. It was called like 100 and something hours.
It was his arm. It was his arm, and he cut it off with a pocket knife. Yeah.
That's what,
Yes.
oh, wow. All right.
It's
Wow.
like 132 hours or something like that. I don't know, y'all.
Yeah,
Some of the people in the audience will know. Yeah, he got his arm caught. I'm sorry, y'all, but anybody who climbs through little tiny tight spaces in the caves, y'all are way different people. Y'all are a whole different breed, man.
It's not.
I couldn't do it. If I gotta even contort my body slightly to get into a crack or crevice of a cave, I ain't going.
Speaking of Appalachia, there's a spot on the trip in Appalachia that I found, and it has this little dinky fence around it. And I'm like, why is this fence here, right? But like, I wanted to know. It was like I was really like on this off beaten path, but you could see it's been, used a couple times. But like, I'm like, what is this? So I go, I find my way around it, and sure as shit, it's a cave. And I go to kind of go in a little bit. It's dark in there. First of all, you don't really know what's in there, and it's really not easy to move around there, right? You could fall out, whatever. Even there was a couple like, like somebody spray painted something, and like I'm like looking at where it is. I'm like, I would not even go that far, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not scared of a lot of things, but like I'll risk it for the biscuit, but that. Caves ain't worth it to me. Forget it.
No, they're definitely not.
Someone else can have it. Yeah, someone else can have it.
Yeah, we talked about some caves on Saturday night, and we've got Mark Green in the chat today. What's up, Mark? Thank you so much for being here, and thanks so much to you and Rebecca for joining us on Saturday night. That was a great show. I cannot wait to have you back on. And we have more to talk about with that. But yeah, it is so important, y'all. If you go out into the woods, you go exploring, please just let somebody know where you're going, and have a time to check back in with your family or a friend or your neighbor, whoever. Please do that, okay? Because we love you and we need you. As the great words of Mr. Charles Hardy out of Paulding County used to say that in his commercials for his car dealership, if anybody knows about him, okay? We love you and we need you. And that is my motto with you guys too. Okay, we love you and we need y'all. So
I do it.
Be safe.
I even do it in my truck. If I park like in a lot where like maybe it's a little dicey outside or whatever, and like the trails or whatever, or like one trail goes this way, one trail goes this way, right? And they go for like 50 miles on each side. I'll like just write like, and I'll leave it like, kind of like on my seat. And I'll just row it right, like went north or went west, and I write a time. You know what I'm saying? And people, whatever, like if you go miss it, whatever, at least they know kind of which way to go. You know what I mean? And it's a last resort. But when you drive up to these like spots and like you don't see a car for like, 45 minutes, and then you get to a place and there's nobody around, and like all you hear is like, like an eagle in the distance or something. And it's like, all right,
Yeah. It's not a good feeling if something were to happen. And with
right,
with me, I'm always like when I was driving down that road, leaving that WMA out in Alabama, I kept thinking, like, I literally said to myself, I was like, I said it out loud. I was like, oh my God, in my car, something happens to my car, I'm just going to die. Like, this is wild. Like, I didn't mean literally die, but I meant like emotionally, psychologically out. Yeah, because it was a long walk back and it was really creepy if I had made it back to the camp. Yeah. I would have made it. I would have been fine, but it was just, oof, it was rough. I do want to mention this one comment right here that we had from Brandon. Brandon Tigerman said, if you ever get really injured, don't ever give up. Keep fighting through your injuries. They will eventually heal. Don't give in or give up. Thank you. That is a great comment right there. And I agree with that. Don't give up. And that one guy, unfortunately, he did cut his arm off with a pocket knife. Always keep a pocket knife with you in case you got to cut your leg.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And a tourniquet.
Okay? I mean, I don't care how sharp your pocket knife is. Cutting through bone.
Rough.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Oh my God.
You gotta have rocks. I mean, imagine.
That's
just where it comes down to your will to live. How bad do you want it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know either. Whatever. I'm not getting into it.
You never know until you get into that situation yourself.
That's very true.
You never know.
Very true. People say it to me all the time. Like, if they hear like one of my stories, like about like when I was overseas or whatever, which I don't talk about like in detail, like day to day, but sometimes it comes up or whatever, and people be like, "Oh my God, like I could never do that," and it's like you have to, it's like if you don't, you don't do the next thing, it's game over.
Yes.
What do we call it? Unalived?
Unalived. It's quittance.
Yeah, it's quittance.
Quittance. Yes.
Quittance.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let me tell you, there were a couple of teenagers who thought it was quittance for them in North Carolina at Valle Cruces. I know I got off on a tangent there, y'all.
No, yeah, it's my fault usually. It's all
my fault. It's all my fault. So we got on. So they went to the cemetery. Now, if they're like me, they're just thrill seekers and they like to go get chased by monsters at a cemetery. Now I do want to set the tone for this because we have a lot of Dogman sightings at cemeteries and Bigfoot as well.
Even that one digging.
Mm-hmm.
That one digging too, yeah.
Oh man, I was going to try to pull up a video actually, and I forgot. Damn it, forgot. There's we have the grave digging dogman out of Ohio that Colleen Norris brought us on the show. That those two girls took, but there's also a grave digging dogman in the Appalachians as well, another one. And
really?
And I was watching this video. I'll try to add it to my social media today after the show, TikTok, and I'll try to repost it on TikTok maybe. But I was watching this video and I'm watching this thing digging in a real cemetery behind a real church, and I'm thinking man, you got to be real mentally messed up to go out and start digging like that in a cemetery. That's not funny. That's not a joke. We don't joke like that. Okay. No. Just like with that one in Ohio, we don't joke like that. Okay. That there's just nobody, I don't care how gone you are in the head, maybe then you'd do it. But these things are like black figures with ears on top of their heads in both cases, with the one that Colleen brought us and this other one from the Appalachians cemetery. So I don't know. I don't know why dogmen are digging for bones. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, okay, so there's some thrill seekers, I guess. These two teenage, I think they were boys, were up in the Appalachians in Valle Cruces, and they were at this church right here. They were passing by this Episcopal Church, and they said, let's see. Okay, so I think they were probably from Appalachian State University, I think is the name of the college, but they just said a nearby college. It's in Boone, North Carolina. They were driving past the cemetery one night when a shadowy figure jumped out in front of their vehicle, scaring them. Here's another picture of the church right here. But it scared them, and it chased their car. They sped off, and to their horror, this thing they thought that they had gained traction. They were like flying down the road. And listen, those roads in not Alabama, North Carolina are winding, especially in the mountains. You
So
can't drive 90 miles an hour down those roads. You can't.
something kept poking my brain. You know when you get like a nudge, a nudge, a nudge. So something kept nudging me to like look up what Valle Cruces means. It means
Yeah.
Veil of the Cross.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
Veil of the Cross.
Yeah, you're probably thinking of like the veil being thin as well. Just
Yeah,
word,
and
it's
it's
that buzzword.
the
Yeah.
Veil of the Cross. So maybe things cross,
Yeah.
or there might be a little temperament in
Okay.
that
Well,
region.
they said this thing, the dog, it was a dog it was black with red eyes, and it was pacing their vehicle. They thought that they had gotten away from it, and they looked behind them, and it was pacing behind them. And even as they sped up and were doing abnormally fast speed through the mountains out of there, it was right beside their car and right behind them, pacing with them. I mean, from the diagrams that I was looking at and stuff, it looked like the dog was bigger than their car, actually. I mean, it was huge.
Wow.
It was definitely human size. It was definitely human size, a big human. And so I was thinking, well, could it have just been a dog? I mean, it's not often that we see these dogs, but we have this folklore of these black dogs in the Appalachians, but what we hear about more today are dog men, and they have red eyes. A lot of times, they say.
I mean, if it was just a regular dog, I don't think they would have. You could literally get in your car and Cujo can't get you. You know what I mean? So like, I mean, something made them take off. It had to be. That's what's making me think. Because a dog could easily keep up with a car, but like even Vic has this encounter that he talks about occasionally where the dog man was pacing the vehicle and they were speeding and it had its head in the window. Like as it was running next to the car, it was like in the window, kind of like.
Is that the Joe Berger one where he shot it in the face?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only heard him talk about that part. I never like heard the full story.
Yeah.
But
Man,
he's wild. He can dial you right in. He'll be like on episode 221, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, how do you do that?
Vic. Yeah, that's right. He's really good at that. I know. He's got a good memory. Good memory. Yeah, Justin Olfart. That's funny because I was joking around about this when I was at that conference talking to some people. He says you don't have to be faster than the dog man. You have to be faster than the slowest person with you. I know. I was joking around about somebody, and we're like, well, I'm not going to go there. We're not going to talk about it. Okay. Yes. That's why you got to trust the people you're with in the woods too. That they're not going to like shoot you in the leg or something and let you go down and let the dog man eat you. Okay. I only go out with people I trust. Okay.
Yeah, well, those guys
down, we're all going down. Okay.
Those guys you go dogman hunting with, or whatever you want to call it, like those guys look like special ops, man. They're like, like you guys.
I just
look
gotta
like
say, if somebody were to shoot me in the leg or whatever and put me, I'm gonna shoot them back. Okay, we're all going down. So
yeah, no, those guys are badasses. Those are the type of people you want with you.
Yes, absolutely. Nobody would ever do that. Okay, none of us would ever do that. And so that's why you go through a heavy vetting process if you go out with us when we go do dangerous stuff like this, dealing with the dog man. But however, these black dogs have been around for a long time, and some people say that they actually, in the Appalachian Mountains, they kind of originate with some of the English settlers that came over here, who brought the stories with them of the black dogs, and that's why they're here. How they're explained away basically is like, well, the English came over here and started talking about them, like the snarly yaw. Is that how you say it? Snarly yow, YOW. And they say that this it actually walks on two. The snarly yows walk on two legs, though, Mike. So to me, that would be a dog man.
I thought you were saying owl earlier.
Yow.
I was Googling owl. I'm like, what is
the snarly owl? I know. I can't. It's my accent.
No, that's all right.
Okay. Okay. I had to spell it out so people will know what I'm saying. So it began in the 1700s with German immigrants in the Appalachians. A lot of them were miners, actually. And of course, the Dogman sightings persist to this day, but the snarly yow, Y-O-W, was known to be around in the 1700s in the Appalachian Mountains. And it was not called a Dogman back then. But that's what we call it today. I kind of think I'm going to start calling them snarly yows. People are going to have no idea what I'm talking about. But this is how they were described, kind of walking on two legs, four legs and two legs.
They can have. It's supposed to have dark blue, gray, or white fur with or this dark, saggy skin, red eyes and lips. Physical being, they thought, but they said unless a fog is present, they was able to keep up with a horse at full gallop.
Yeah.
That's some fast shit. I mean, I mean, and I don't know. I wanted to mention too. There was I think it was during World War II, I guess. There was a certain battle, and I don't recall where it went down, but I believe Germans and Americans, and the Germans actually labeled the American Marines as devil dogs during that battle. And it was, I guess it was because it was like the way they were like up close and just like relentless, like going at them, whatever and stuff. So, that's just interesting to me, like why they picked that term. So maybe it was something that was kind of common for Europeaners, like.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, okay. Back in 1937, there was a blues singer. His name's Robert Johnson. Okay, and one of the most haunting blues songs of all times he wrote is called "Hellhound on My Trail." Okay, and so it says that the lyrics are kind of up for debate as to what he was talking about, but he's talking about the hound of Baskersville chasing a blues singer through the backwoods of Mississippi. So it's basically like a dog man, hellhound, big black dog, or a hellhound. Could have been a dog man chasing him through the backwoods of Mississippi, which I think that's kind of cool. Of course, hellhounds are definitely associated with the underworld. I know we're talking about devil dogs, same thing. In my opinion, I think devil dogs and hellhounds are the same thing.
Right.
But the connection between dogs and the underworld to go back to the beginning of time was like Anubis. Okay, of course,
Sure, of course.
the god of the underworld, basically, in ancient folklore. And of course, the dogs that guard the gates of the underworld, the gates of hell. Okay, the hellhounds, and the British islands have tales of these black dogs. Okay, the black dog, just like I have a list here of so many different hellhounds. Like literally, I have like 10 pages right here of black dogs. That come out of England. That's why I wanted to kind of set the tone where I said, they say that this tale came over the black dogs, the folklore came over with these English immigrants. Okay. Because they have so many. Now, a black dog in England, this is out of England, they're a supernatural, spectral, or demonic hellhound originating from English folklore and is present throughout Europe and the Americas. It's usually a naturally large dog with glowing red or yellow eyes. It's connected to the devil. Of course, we call it the hellhound as well. And it's sometimes an omen of death. It's associated with electrical storms, such as Black Shuck's appearance in Suffolk, and also with the crossroads. Isn't that where we go to sell our soul to the devil? I wouldn't do it. Okay. I'd never do it. But some people do it. And just like blues singers, right?
Yeah.
And
apparently a lot of people do it.
they're also seen in execution and ancient pathways. Execution, I guess, where people have died, maybe like the gallows where they used to be or something. I don't know, but it's more like of a supernatural type of a being. Okay, now here we're seeing full out. They're not apparitions. I don't know, that one Dogman out of Fort Pierce, Florida. Remember that one? That blue guy that was on Facebook Live? That one looked like it was a ghost almost.
Oh yeah.
It looked spectral.
See, I've filmed things live too that I've tried to like take later and look at, and I guess because it's live, it looks a little more like it's phasing or kind, you know what I mean? More like less physical than it was, in person. And so that kind of can be hard because if they had like a crappy slow connection, especially back then, that you're talking about the one that looks like a kangaroo kind of coming out from, because to me that's the way I've seen them move two on two legs. They bound like almost like kangaroos, and I'm not talking a little. Yeah, I'm not talking no bullshit like little like us jumping like
They got a
they get it
stride.
going. Yeah, they get it going. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've actually, okay, so there is one video that I've had it on my social media before, and I've been told it's a real Dogman, a real one. And someone said that the way they got it, it was on like a DHS website or something. It was like somebody had broken into this, somehow hacked into a system. Okay. That was the word on the street. And yes, I do. Shadow Man says that they work for the government. I think you're talking about probably about these Dogman and stuff. Maybe. I think so. I think the government is fully aware of them. But there's a video, and it's almost like it's missing a frame. So it almost looks like I think Bigfoot Dwarf had described it well on my show one time. He was talking about how if you had taken like what he saw, it was, I don't know if it was a Bigfoot or a Dogman he was talking about, but it was like if you take one of those books where you could like flip the pages really quickly, and it makes it look a cartoon moving, but it's like kind of choppy movement. That's how that video is of that Dogman. It's almost like choppy movement, and maybe it's just because the quality of the video. It's like a CCTV type of a video, I guess, and it looks like it's missing a frame, like that choppy movement. But it's also moving really quickly, and I have been told. I know I'm fully aware, y'all. I've had multiple people tell me I shouldn't be out there chasing these things around and looking for them because I stand no chance.
I don't know how to do it I don't know how to do it facing the camera.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. One of those little flip books. Exactly. There you go.
I'm trying to do it facing the camera. It's not easy. Yeah, my son has a King Kong one.
That's exactly it. And that's what that Dogman looked like in that video that I saw. Man, that's incredible, Mike. Thank you. I can't believe you had that.
Yeah. I love these things. It's Fliptomania.
Oh yeah. Oh man, Mike,
I don't know. It's hard to show.
I love it. Thank you for showing that. I could see it. Yeah. I could totally see it. Have you ever been close enough to a Dogman to smell one? Because I've never heard that they like smell bad. They're not like Bigfoot.
No, I didn't smell it. And one of the other things that I've uncovered through like reliving and telling it, like, is I didn't hear anything either. So in that one situation where they bound at me, like, I should have heard like snarling or like even like movement out of the brush and back into the brush, and as they came towards me. I don't know if it was because I was in like a state of like shock or what, like, but I kind of think it was more or less like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you remember that movie Biodome? I kind of feel like when you experience these things, like these cryptids and different things, they're like, it's almost like you're in like a little like section of a different world, right? Mm-hmm. And then almost like when the encounter ends, it's like boop, it's like it's all gone, and like sound comes back and smell comes back and wind, and you know what I'm saying? Leaves rustling, everything. It's almost like that all stops for a second, and I don't know how to explain it. Don't.
Yeah, it's like you've the dimensions have overlapped or something, and you've gone through some kind of dimensional portal thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, Tyrone says I must be in a different frequency. I never seen a Dogman. It's all about frequency though, Mike. Too. I saw the word frequency over there. So thank you, Tyrone. But yeah, it's a frequency thing. I think. And maybe we're just dipping in and out of different frequencies, different radio stations, basically. That's how you can describe it.
Yeah. It's factual. I mean, you could stand 2 feet from somebody or 2 miles from somebody, and if you ain't on the right dial, you'll never connect. So, I mean, like,
I know some folks ain't never on the right dial for nothing. Okay, I'm just saying.
If I'm not in a good mood, like in the right frame, like if I'm like pissed or like shit's sour or like I'm sad or whatever, I don't go out there. Like I've learned that I have to go out like at a steady, like a steady
even kill.
Yeah, I have to vibrate at a certain level, and like I do it. I do it. I do kind of like a walking Reiki as well, where like I'm tapping into like the life energies around me and stuff, and like trying to like put myself out and like try to get, you know what I'm saying, reciprocative good energy and this and that, and
open heart.
Yeah. Oh, I say, I don't want to say this because it's going to be a slogan I use in the future, but open heart is great. Absolutely.
Open heart, open mind. That's what I always say.
100%. 100%.
William Nighthawk's in the chat. What's up, William? Thank you for being here. He says the devil dog originally came from immigrant farmers from Irish descent. When they died, their dogs were buried with them for protection. Yes. Yeah, from what I was researching, I was finding that it was, the English immigrants, the Irish, the Welsh, all them folks over there, all my relatives, okay, came over and brought this with them, just like the French brought the vampires, okay, with the casket girls. I'm just kidding. I don't know. We have kind of pondered on that a little bit, though, talking about the different monsters, okay, that came over from Europe and how they got here, and this could be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, Elena, like we do video calls a lot, and like there's shadow people, like it's such a common thing. Like, I mean, at least where she's at, or for her, I should say, I guess, and there's a million things that people don't pay attention to that we pay attention to, right? Like, so it could be that too, to some extent, but
it could be Colleen. Hey, Colleen, she says, S Walker in dog form ran alongside a car at 3 a.m. in the form of a wolf near the ABQ Albuquerque airport on Gibson, a major road off the freeway that scared the driver, my man's coworker. It was going 75 miles an hour and it kept up. Dang. Yeah, that's unnerving, going 75. That's like those two boys that were, I guess I'm going to assume they're boys, two students from that college in Valle Cruces, North Carolina. They said that the dog, whatever that was that jumped out at them at that cemetery, was keeping up with their car at high speeds. That reminds me of this video that I've been seeing. I saw it looks like a teenager maybe in like one of those all spandex bodysuits with the face and the hood on it and everything.
Yeah.
Looks like Spider-Man or something.
Yeah, Mr. Met does that too. Yeah, there's a guy who does it in orange at the Mets games. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not into spandex, man. I those days are over. I'll never wear spandex again. Okay, but
those ones that cover your head to your toes.
Yes. My son loves those, or used to at least. He had one in every color, every superhero. That was the thing for kids for a while. He actually busted some holes in the Deadpool, and he used to wear the Deadpool costume so much it was just ripped all the time. Okay, because he kept growing out of them. I had to keep buying new ones. But anyways, my days of wearing spandex are done. Okay, after having a kid, we're no more ever. But
I could see him doing cartwheels and stuff.
Oh yeah, he was Deadpool. Okay, but there's this video where there's this guy. I assume it's like a guy, and he's running really fast, and maybe it was all set up. Maybe they were like, let's do it for the gram, let's do it for the TikTok. But this guy just kind of comes out of nowhere and starts running up beside a car that had a bunch of people in it, and he starts pacing beside the car. He's pacing the car, and they're like, trying to speed up to get away from this thing. It just keeps getting closer to their car. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
always wonder about that one. It's allegedly a Bigfoot video, but it's like somebody's uh, backup camera, and you know what I mean. They like seem to run out. It's like it looks like there's cornfields or something on both sides, whatever the case. But it looks like they would like outrun something, and then they stop and put and. But why would you put your reversed on? But anyway, the reverse camera shows something running towards it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Yeah, that's something that I need to invest in after that incident in Alabama. I am definitely going to be investing. I have not done it yet because I've had too many other things that I've had to pay for and buy and go to lately. But I will be investing in cameras, dash cams, and backup cams and stuff like that to run all the time when I'm in the, not just in the woods, but cameras
Oh,
to run pretty much all the time in my vehicle. Actually,
yeah.
I think that's important when especially when you're out in the woods doing the stuff that we're doing, Mike. We should
Uh-huh.
probably all have those.
100%. And a lot of states have these places where like you can ride through the state forests and stuff too. Like there's a lot of like drive-throughs. Like I was in Florida, like Ocala, for instance, or I was in Connecticut and with another guy, and we went through this Patchogue State Forest, and like you can drive around, and I mean you can literally video like these areas, and front, back, left, right, if you want while you're driving. You can just take a slow pace. But when we were in Florida and Ocala, I got to just kind of ride along, so it was different for me. I wasn't driving for once, but shining my big flashlight out and stuff, seeing different things. And then as soon as we decided to stop, and Ocala is huge, a big place, and um, there were bear prints, fresh bear prints, and we had at first thought they were like small, like we were like, well, that's footprints, right? Like it looks like human footprints, but of course we know a double step. But seeing a double step in person is like amazing. You look at it, you're like,
Mhm.
that look like it's crazy similar to a bear footprint, a human bear footprint.
A human bear footprint. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
it's very similar to a double step from a bear.
Oh man. You know what? That's something that Mark and I talked about Saturday night. Mark Green, who's in the chat today. What's up, Mark? He's talking about a bear man or something. Okay, like a bear man
I know,
in the Appalachians as well. So
I know.
yeah, might line up with the zombie bears that I've talked about before.
I mean, there's probably there. My guess is there's all sorts of things. Like, I mean, we never really, uh, nobody ever really touches on like the elementals, right? Like, but there's so many different ones, and I mean, there's so many. It's insane. So I don't understand why it's so hard for people to grasp the idea of these different types of cryptids or hybrid crossovers of whatever, things that look like man but also like animal, right? Like, um, it doesn't have to come from a lab. You know what I mean? Most likely, anything that goes is coming from a lab is um trying to be redone. You know what I mean?
The imposters. It's an
Yeah,
imposter.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I like
Yeah.
in like Montauk, for instance, like how far down that place went and stuff. I don't think we had those capabilities back then. I do not, and I think that it was personally. I think it was an Anunnaki base at some point or
Really?
whatever. Yeah, and I believe that they took it over knowingly, and they were trying to recreate things that were left behind, and similar to like Jurassic Park, right? Like, whoa, da, 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 look at this, we found a mosquito, and you know, go to all these lengths to do shit. That's pretty much what they're doing on Plum Island. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
that thing washed up
Chimeras.
on shore, and the Montauk Monster washed up right on shore. Visual people take a picture, but
Yeah.
you talk
Well,
it right away.
it's got to be something different. It had like a beak on it. It's like there's got to be an explanation. Everybody's always got an explanation for stuff. Just like that human with the long fingers that Brian has that drawing of. that washed up.
They drilled
Yeah.
into its head. Either it had 5 holes in its head or whatever, or they drilled into it. But whatever the guy, so whatever the person who did the report on finding that body, that's how they drew it. Why would they? You know what I'm saying? Weird,
Yes.
weird, weird, weird.
Oh my gosh, gene splicing is fun. Beth, you're so silly. Yes.
I'm
M13. Yeah. M13
I'm
says Montauk was built around ancient temples, a pyramid, ancient underground structures. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think we just found out
Wow.
Mount Montauk, or whatever it's called. Was really hard for us to find for a long time, and it was hidden in plain sight. Hidden in plain sight. It's like the entrance to it is like, and I never knew it was there. Is right between like two people's houses, and then you go up there and like, I mean, I,
Wow.
I don't know. I don't want to dive into Montauk right now, but it's just yeah.
Well, I mean, it's near the Appalachians,
Ooh.
kind of. Okay. Well, I know it's time. It's time for you to go, right?
Yeah, my alarm just went off, so I'm
Okay.
late.
Look, you can run. I'll finish out the show. Okay.
Okay,
You
thank you
get
so
through it.
much.
Thank you for being here today, Mike. It's been awesome. Let's holler later. Okay.
Anytime.
After some chicken fingers and tater logs. Okay.
Yeah,
Have a
and
great day.
Vienna. All right, be good,
Thank
guys.
you for
Thank
being
you.
here.
It's
Okay. Thanks,
curtains.
Mike.
All right, guys.
Buttons for you. All right. See ya.
Bye. I had to figure out this new StreamYard.
Here, I'll take you down. There we go. All right, got him. All right, yes. So Montauk has ancient temples and a pyramid, you guys down there. I didn't know all that, but it doesn't shock me, okay, because of all of the teleportation experiments that went on there, all the mind control, all the stuff going on there, time travel experiments, and all that. And I was with, by the way, at the Full Disclosure Now conference. I was with a whole bunch of the survivors, of a few of them actually, a handful of them, survivors of the Montauk programs that happen out there, where Mike does his Bigfoot research over there at Camp Hero, and I've been there with him doing that. So really interesting stuff over there. I did want to talk about this black shuck real quick too, because we're talking about all the black dogs out of England and how the English and maybe even the Irish, like William said, did bring these black dogs over here to America. Okay, and or the folklore came with them. I think that there's dogmen. I think they're dogmen, y'all. Okay, I think there's a variety of them, but black shuck is in Norfolk, Suffolk, Lincolnshire, and the northern parts of Essex. A black dog known as black shuck, also old shuck or shock, a bunch of different names, uh, is regarded as malevolent, with stories ranging from terrifying people or unaliving them to being important of death to themselves, or let me read this, y'all. It's on my notes here. Or a person close to the victim. There are tales that in 1577 it attacked the church in the market town of Bungay. Probably didn't pronounce that right. Unaliving 2 people and appearing on the same day at the church in the nearby village of Blytheburg, taking the lives of another 3 and leaving claw marks which remain today in the parish of Overstrand. Is a lane known as Shuck's Lane from its frequent appearances there. According to urban legend, the spot where it was just seen. Oops. Hold on, y'all. My computer's about to die. Sorry. But it was last seen. It was examined. The one may find scorch marks and the smell of brimstone, like fire and brimstone, right? But there are also less common tales of a similar dog said to accompany people on their way home in the role of a protector rather than an omen of misfortune. And they think that black shuck means shaggy. So like a shaggy dog. And how are dogmen often described as having long, and not all of them have long hair, but I'll tell you what I saw. If those were dogmen, the one that was over with his back turned did have long, shaggy hair. It did. It was not super. If you've ever seen that picture of like the Bigfoot in the trail cam, it looks like a Bigfoot with its back. It's just, you can just see its back, and it has like long, wiry hair. That's what it looked like. Okay, that's what it looked like. Was something like that. And I did want to point out that in Appalachia. Okay, like Apalachicola. I do say Apalachicola. Okay, so you guys can chew on that. Okay, I do say Apalachicola. That's down in Florida, by the way. They have good oysters down there. Okay, but people in Appalachia, a lot of them say that when they see a black dog, you can tell that it's not just a black dog. There's something not right about it. Okay, it's kind of like those not deers that we've talked about, but these black dogs, including these hellhounds, they just say they look like a dog, but there's just something off about it, something off. And let's talk about the Kentucky hellhound, because somebody in the chat, I can't remember who it was, I saw earlier today, somebody in the chat had said that they are from Kentucky, I think, and I had heard about the Kentucky hellhounds, and so I wanted to go over a little bit of that with you guys before we go today. Let's talk about the hellhounds, and I'll pull this picture right here back up, because they describe them as looking like just like a big dog. Okay, and here's one of my favorite AI creations right here of one of these black dogs, which is actually a Dogman. But in 1939, they had there was an encounter. Look, it actually looks like me with hands. Okay. Okay, just kidding, y'all. The first encounter in 1939, moonshiners encountered what is called the Kentucky hellhound. And of course, the guys from that TV show, The Mountain Monsters, claimed that they had actually filmed. Let me take this down. This is annoying. They had actually filmed the Kentucky hellhound in Pike County, Kentucky, and in other counties of Kentucky. They said that it weighs about 400 to 500 pounds, y'all. Now, I've never seen a dog that is 400 to 500 pounds in my entire life, unless that thing I saw on the side of the road might have been. Looked kind of, didn't look like that. It looked like this, kind of, right there. It had a face like that on it. But it said it's approximately 4 feet tall, 7 feet long, and it has a blue-black fur on it. And it has ridge of hair along its back. Its paws are large and bear-like. The hellhound prefers to eat farm animals, which is the main reason the Mountain Monsters team went and looked for it. And so, anyways, that's about the Kentucky hellhound, y'all. Hold on. Get out of here. Go away. Sorry. I had to throw my pen at my dog, y'all. I love her to death. But okay. So, anyways, the Kentucky hellhound, 400 pounds to 500 pounds of a dog. I think the Kentucky hellhound just might be a Dogman. And y'all know that we have a lot of reports out of Kentucky of Dogmen, especially at the Land Between the Lakes. That is where the Land Between the Lakes resides. I guess you can say it resides there. But that is there. And so I think this has been a fantastic conversation today. And I want to thank everybody for being here. And so thank you guys so much for your attention for all this time. And of course, my dog just started crying and my son's not helping me. So I'm going to go today, y'all. Okay. And I'm going to see you guys back here on Wednesday. Okay. On Wednesday, we'll be back on a glitch in the Matrix. And I wanted to thank Maureen. She said, get your tater logs and chicken fingers. Thank you for that super sticker, Maureen, you and Gus. It was really fun getting to hang out with you guys over on St. Pete at the Full Disclosure Now conference. I do appreciate you guys so much for being there and for coming to hang out with us. And it was a fantastic conference. So thank you so much. And yeah, I don't know. I hope everybody learned something today. And I know I always do every time I come on these shows. And I was super excited to have Mike here. And so thank you guys so much for spending your Monday with me here talking about Appalachian devil dogs, black dogs, and Dogman encounters. And yes. Also, shout out to everybody who's here today who hung out with us at that conference last week. And I do have another conference coming up. The World UFO Conference will be August the 2nd. It's on a Saturday. So, yeah, live shows from here on out. It's going to be a great week, y'all. I got a bunch of good shows lined up already for us. So, please be safe out there, y'all. Okay? Be safe out there. Don't live in fear. And if you have a beautiful black dog at home like I do, I have a beautiful black German Shepherd. And sometimes when she needs a treat or she wants to go out, her eyes turn red. I'm just kidding. They don't. But anyways, yeah, you know what? I feel bad. Okay. I do want to say this. This is like deep thoughts with Jessica right now. Have y'all ever seen those videos like on TikTok where people film their dogs and they're like, something's wrong with my dog. It's the S-Walker. And their dog's like begging to get in the house or whatever. And they're like, no, it's a skinwalker. I feel so bad for those dogs, y'all. I just feel so bad for those dogs. I don't believe 1 second those dogs are S-Walkers. I think they're just trying to get views on TikTok. And that's my opinion. Okay. So anyways, on that note, I'm going to leave y'all with that today. And so, yeah, don't be pretending like your animals are S-walkers and putting it on TikTok. That makes me sad. Okay. Those dogs just want love and they want to get inside your house. Okay. But anyways, y'all have a wonderful day. And Maureen, thanks again for that super sticker. You're the best. And and JoJo Awaken, thank you so much for that super sticker as well. I appreciate your support. You guys are so sweet, and it's much appreciated. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and keep your head on a swivel. Don't live in fear, and come back and see me on Wednesday. I'll be back Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday this week with live shows for you guys. So, all right, until then, I will see y'all then. All right, bye, y'all.